Welcome to True Health Tuesdays. Today we're going to talk about how to recognize neurologic damage in kids and adults. The reason is, anytime I go to the store or a public event, I'm seeing these kids with massive neurologic problems, and we're talking about 1 in 18 has full-blown autism now, statistically. 1 in 18 American children. Okay, now first let's look at the toxins, and this is what you got to start recognizing. Neurotoxins, these are toxic to the nervous system. It's in most of the packaged foods, it's in all the genetically modified foods, it's in all the bread products, all the crackers, the Ritz crackers, everything that's not organic, that's got a mineral chelator called glyphosates. All the vaccines have neurotoxins in them, everyone. It's not just thimerosal or mercury. The aluminum is toxic. The human diploid cells, the substrates, the adjuvants. I mean, all the parts inside of a vaccine are toxic and dangerous. But don't worry, most people will survive. You see, you get into this crazy argument that, well, my kids got vaccinated and they're fine. Really, are they fine? Are they healthy, or do they have digestion problems? Are they healthy, or do they have beginning Alzheimer's? Do they have cancers? Do they have Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis? Do they have fibromyalgia? All of these are the result of neurotoxins. Seriously, this is nuts. Okay, so this is what you got to see like I see. When you see a child, okay, with one eye looking straight, the other eye looking off, okay, during birth trauma, the 6th cranial nerve, okay, comes out of the middle of the brainstem, okay, and this thing, okay, if the head is pulled or the head is jammed, you can jam this and you can get strabismus, where one eye looks one eye the other way. So this is absolutely could be from some upper neck trauma. It could also be from some neurologic trauma, such as encephalitis, which is the result of vaccines. It could be the result of poisonous mold or antibiotic use. It's just not normal. Okay, if you look at the dark circles around the eyes, that's mineral deficiency. If you look at the kids walking around with forward head carriage, that's also strain on them. They're trying to round over the shoulders to open up the nerves. If you have the child looking down and then looking up, okay, that they're trying to stimulate the upper nervous system. If you see jerky movements, if you've ever seen a meth addict, their muscles on either side of the spine are increased in spasm. They have jerky motions, and the movement triggers dopamine. Okay, so if you see a kid moving their legs all the time, okay, you know, if you see them jerking around like this, yeah, you're triggering dopamine. Okay, so what dopamine is, it's a feel-good hormone produced in the brain. So if you have encephalitis, you're going to see someone moving. So if you see a child with the head forward, eyes up, shoulders back, jerky movements, you know, walking around like this, okay, they're either looking to score some meth, or if they're 7, they're probably neurologic damaged. And you can see this, okay? When you see the open mouth, you know that their sinuses are messed up. Okay, and what this is increased histamine. It means, see, every time you get a shot, you're getting proteins in the body, in the blood. And what allergies are your body mounting an abnormal attack on foreign proteins. If they're walking on their toes, neurologic damage. Okay, you see someone with dark circles around the eyes, mineral deficiency. Now, I got all of these pictures, okay, we got this one thing that you buy called Shutterstock, and we go there for pictures, you know, that aren't copyrighted, and I'm looking for normal children. I can't find them. And honest to goodness, when you see a normal child in our office, it's like, wow, that's so weird. They're clear-eyed, they're calm, their posture is different. They walk over and you think, God, you're like a little adult. What the hell did you come from, you know? And you look at them and it's a totally different animal. But I mean, of course, their parents are unvaccinated, they don't take any drugs, they've been adjusted since birth. I mean, this is it. So when we look at this, we're exporting this. Now there's a disease. Okay, let me see if this sounds familiar to you. The child was born normal, but then after his vaccine shots, he developed neurologic damage and regressed into autism. Have you ever heard that? Yeah, try every parent with an autistic kid, okay? Well, here's a thing in Uganda. Now, Uganda's unique because we can go in there and study with vaccines because it's an isolated population. Now, it's not because you have an indigenous population that won't move or it's mineral-rich land. We're not going into a mineral-rich, natural resource-rich environment and experimenting on the indigenous population so that we can take control of the mineral rights. Don't think that. It just happens to coincide. Well, when they were doing this swine flu study in 2010 in Finland, they found a number of the kids also developed seizures that were like falling asleep after 52, on average, within 52 days of getting the shot. So we know that shots can cause this. But what no one's looking at in Uganda is that there's a unique group between 5 years old and 15 years old that have this disease. And a lot of times it becomes fatal. Well, it turns out that if you have a population that's vitamin deficiency, particularly in B vitamins, it negatively affects, or the shots negatively affect you to the extreme. It's like cigarettes do not cause cancer, and they don't. Not everybody that smokes is going to get cancer. Do they weaken your immune system? Yeah. Vaccines are neurotoxic, okay, but not everyone's going to get neurologic damage. But do we see a rise in it? Absolutely. So, you know, when you hear this, and this is one of the things I want you to be, again, we're transcending from that collective subordination. We're transcending from that. Because I know this is negatively affecting some people's belief system with facts, okay? When you look at the CDC, they just changed it from 1 in 100. There's an old number. It's now 1 in 68. And before that, it was 1 in 150. Before that, it was 1 in 500. Before that, it was 1 in 10,000. So I'm thinking, well, where are they getting their numbers? So then I find out they're checking 8 and 10-year-olds. And I'm thinking, well, isn't autism diagnosed like around 2 and 3 years old? So why are they checking 10-year-old kids, 10 and 12-year-old kids, and 8-year-old kids? And you find out because this way you don't scare the public as much. Because if you calculate this back, okay, from 2013 to 2014, there was a 30% increase. If we do that 30% increase in the 6 to 8-year-old, the 4 to 6-year-old, the 2 to 4-year-olds, okay, you calculate it back. Currently, today, we're looking at a 1 in 18 autism rate. 1 in 18. That's 1 in 18 kids is going to have some type of neurologic damage in the autism spectrum disorder. This is not normal. Okay, these are the schedules of the neurotoxins. Yes, each one has neurotoxins. Now, they're actually coming up with a whole number of studies now, because since vaccines are not liable, like you inject it, you come down with paralysis or autism, you can't sue the companies. So now they came up with a great idea of a number of different drugs that you can inject, okay, several times a year. So this way, it won't run the role of Vioxx. I mean, Vioxx was a great pain reliever. It just happened to kill 100,000 people. Okay, how many people went to jail for killing 100,000 people? Nobody. No, it's for the greater good. Submit to the collective authority. You know, it's a number of people were helped and only 100,000 died. Okay, studies have not been conducted to determine the safety or efficacy of administering multiple doses in a combination as required by the CDC. Not have been done. But they did find in this journal, Human and Experimental Toxicology, and this is going to shock you, the younger and smaller of the baby that they're injecting, and the more doses, the more toxic the effect. Then if you inject a larger baby with less shit, they get sick less. Shock? Okay, good. I just wanted to see if the collective consciousness is still common sense. Okay, you understand that? Okay. Okay, now we know vaccine and molecular mimicry. So what I want you to understand is not are we only looking at the gait, we're looking at the eyes, we're looking at everything else. Imagine if we're looking at rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia. All of these are from neurotoxicities. How about that? When you see subluxations or altered position of the vertebrae, it's always this. Here's this kid, came from Colorado. Imagine poop and blood. You're 8 years old. You poop blood every day for 5 years. Okay, you come here within 2 days, he stopped pooping blood. He's a cool kid, just cool. But again, what was his history? See, this is not normal for any population on the planet. You don't see this in 9-year-old water buffaloes. You don't see it in baby caribou. You don't see it in baby giraffe. You don't see it in any other species on the planet that they can't survive by eating the food of their environment. You understand that? This is the end of our population. This is how we fix it. I know it sounds weird, but this is correctable. Okay, plant-based organic diet. We don't buy the stuff that the collective is telling us to buy. You buy only organic. Okay, yes, I know it might be expensive, but feed the kids poisonous stuff and they will get sick, and that's going to cost more money. Okay, it really will. You can do colonics, but you have to get your nervous system checked. You can do, severe IV chelation. This has been done. Oral chelation. You can do a number of this. And I'm running through this because we've already done a number of detoxing videos. But understand that there is a solution. But first we have to change our perception. We're not in that pleasure and pain aspect. We're not subordinating to an individual authority. We have to stop subordinating to this collective authority that is wiping out our population. Enough. Miso, barley miso, can this help protect us? Absolutely. Detoxing clay. We run through all of this stuff. There's so many avenues out there that you can take right now, okay, to stop toxifying the body. In our handout here, we've got nutrition, but look at the back part. This is my favorite handout. One side is death. The other side is optimal health. Neither one have symptoms. It's a lie for someone to tell you that you can have health without disease. It's impossible. No health person on the planet can have that. I would never advocate that. Do you know what it takes for me to reverse arthritis in someone? I got to cause inflammation. We got to tear tissue. We got to stimulate these cytokine 6s to go in there and break down tissue. And what that does, it stimulates the cytokine 10s to regenerate. If we want to go build a building, and there's a building on the lot, can we build a new building without tearing it down? No. Anybody that tells you that you can have health without disease, that's a hedonistic, psychotic, delusionary concept. It's impossible to have that. Okay, you have to have increase in inflammation, increase in breakdown of tissue and build up, breakdown and build up. This is what health is. And to do that oxidative effect, to do that cellular transfer, by God, you get health. You can't do this lie of injecting a drug and trying to protect yourself. That's a fear-based psychotic system. Do you understand? So we have an obligation, okay, to the psychotic collective that are not aware now. Okay, if you're seeing this video, if you're here, we have to go out and save the others. We have a responsibility. We're on the planet a short time, so we have to get out there and do it. Are you with me? Yes. Okay, good. Nerve supply, ideal. Anything that's poisonous to the nerves, bad? Yes. Did I say that with enough authority? It's just bad. Okay, exercise. This moves the body. Can anyone exercise without straining stuff? No. Okay, so if someone's teaching you that, it's the delusion. Proper nutrition. Can you do proper nutrition if it comes in a plastic bag and it's microwaved? No, that's a delusionary lie. Okay. Sufficient rest. Can you take a pill and get knocked out? No, it requires work and preparation to get deep sleep. Okay, you have to do it. And I got to tell you, I didn't do it Saturday. We were at a seminar, and from 9 o'clock in the morning till midnight, but then it really went to 1, and then we talked about it. It was like 1:30, and then you get up at 6. Sufficient rest is appreciated. And daily prayer and meditation, you absolutely have to have the connection. Does that make sense? You absolutely have to have that. Thank you very much.